Hello everyone, welcome back to Motion RC. I'm James, and today we've got the Flywing 450L V3, this time in the green version. The neon green version also comes in white. We flew that one around, but we're gonna do a full flight and sort of setup today. So I'm just taking it, I took it out of the box, I already built it up. I did a short actually. You can check that out. It goes together so simply. The boom is a clip-on boom. You just gotta screw in the blades and you're basically good to go. Get your battery charged up, plug it in. But out of the box here, the beautiful box, you get everything you need. So you get your transmitter, you get a 5,000 milliamp 4S pack, that's what it takes. Our Admiral 5000s also fit in there, which is nice. So if you need extras, we got extras. It has a XT60 connector and the battery goes in very simply right in here. So what I'm gonna do is get it plugged in, wait for the GPS signal because you wanna get your GPS lock because this is a GPS stabilized heli. And then once it's good to go, you're good to fly. So let's get it started. So I'm gonna take this off, a little blade saver, put that away. I'm gonna turn on my transmitter, which takes two thumbs. You just push in both buttons at the same time and you're good to go. I got full batteries in there. And now I'm gonna plug in the heli itself. And now you'll hear some beeps. And it'll be bound up and you'll see it'll do a little dance here. But now what you gotta wait for, and sometimes it takes a few minutes, sometimes it takes a few seconds. It depends on your location and everything, but it's gonna get signal. And we'll show you a close-up in a little bit. But there is a flashing light on the top, right under this part of the canopy, which will show you basically the mode you're in. So right now, I'm in the home mode. So that's when this switch here is pushed all the way to the top. So that would return the heli to home. You want to put that in the GPS mode right off the bat. When you put it in the GPS mode, your light will turn green and it'll flash green while it's picking up all your satellites. And basically from this point, you just gotta wait until that goes solid. You could fly it with in 3D mode when it's just flashing, but you won't have full access to the full GPS. So you wanna be mindful of that. If you wanna fly around just in GPS mode, which is what I like to do with these helis, that's what makes them awesome because they're so really easy to fly. I hate to say that, but they really are easy to fly like that. And fun, then I want to wait. But if you just want to take off in what would be 3D mode where you're not fully secure by GPS, you're not going to do return to home, you just want to fly it like a heli, then you're free to go right now. But I'm going to wait until we get that solid light. So now what we're going to do as far as getting it going is basically on the transmitter itself, you're going to go down and out, and then you'll see there's a stop and run switch here. So you want to go down and out, and then you're going to flick the run, and then your motor's going to spool up and achieve speed, and then you'll be able to take off. So I'm going to go down, this will arm it, and then push this, and you can see our tail wheel spins up. Now we're getting head speed. You want to listen for it. You see we have the head speed we want, and then you could slowly, gradually pick up the throttle, and she's gonna pick up off the ground. Now this is me without I'm doing nothing now. It is just flying, GPS stabilized. And now where I plugged in also, that's the home location. So when you do flick the switch for home, it's gonna come right back to that spot within reason. But I'm gonna start flying it around. So the way I always describe how these fly in the GPS stabilized mode, anybody who's ever flown a DJI type of camera drone, like a quadcopter, the Inspire or the Mavic, what was the original, the Phantom. If you ever flown one of those, you're gonna be very comfortable flying the GPS stabilized mode of this helicopter because it's that dial. This would actually work great if you put a camera on it if you wanted to get some aerial photography with the smaller cameras they make nowadays. But it'll pirouette perfectly, like it doesn't move. Right now we actually have a pretty windy day and that GPS really locks it in and it'll fight the wind and pretty much stay wherever you put it. Now, when I'm up here, they do have two like fun little options where it'll fly on its own. The first is a circle fly. So there's a switch right to the top left, but on the right side of your stop run switch is going to be a switch that has normal, 0 fly, and 8 fly. So when I go into 0 fly, all it does is it wherever you flip the switch, that's the middle point. It moves out, and then it just does this circle with the nose in. And while it's doing that, I believe, if I'm wrong, you can lower the altitude, and it'll maintain that circle. So I could bring it down. I'm bringing it down myself, and then I could bring it back up, and it'll keep doing that circle. And then when I flick back to normal, it'll stop. And now this is me just pirouetting. And then when I go to the 8 mode, it'll do figure 8s. So it'll automatically figure 8. And again, you can raise and lower your altitude with the throttle, and it'll continue doing the figure 8s. Now these, again, these get kind of gimmicky. This is not what you're going to be doing with it, but it's just something cool that it does, and we want to show you everything it does. So you can see it'll just figure 8 in that place, and if I bring down my altitude, it'll maintain that figure 8, like it's still doing it, and it's a nose-in figure, it's following the nose, so it's going forward the whole time while it figure 8s. It finds the center point, and then it'll sort of keep doing that. Now it's going out the other way. So I'm going to go back to normal mode. Now, one thing I couldn't show you here, out of the box, you can take this helicopter and you could just fly it like you saw me do. You could come here, build it up real quick. If your battery's charged, you're ready to go. But there is one feature, and you'll see it on the transmitter. There's an invert feature. So this heli will automatically fly inverted. It'll go inverted when you flip the switch, but it'll only do that if you plug it in before you take it out to fly. Get to your computer, you can download the software on the product page. It's the H1 software, and then you basically just flip a switch, and that turns on the inverted feature. The feature will not be on automatically. Now what that feature does, as long as you're 10 meters above the ground, which I believe we're at, so about 30 feet above the ground, when I flip the inverted button, it will just flip inverted. And now what's cool about it too is all the controls remain the same. Left remains left, forward remains forward. So right, that's me pushing forward. Reverse remains reverse. And then on the throttle setting, unlike a real heli, up will still be up, down will still lower the throttle down. And you could take that switch and you could flip it and go right back, or flip it and go back, or flip it and go back. You could sort of tick-tock it, and it'll always pick whatever direction it wants to pick, but it'll keep doing that back and forth if you want to do it. So if you just want to fly around inverted and look cool around the people here, they think you're doing something really awesome, you can do it. And it flies well when it's inverted as well, which is which is great. So now I'm bringing it full throttle, raising it up, flipping that switch, and now we're back. And now let's just fly around. As far as battery life goes on this thing, I'd say you get easy about 6 to 8 minutes of just cruising around. I never actually opened up the throttle on this. Like, this is full throttle, but I've never flown this heli around at full throttle for an entire battery pack, so I'm sure you'd get less time if you did that. But just hovering around out here on a nice, we're at a nice football fields park where we've got a couple of fields all around us. It's really dialed in, really locked in, large enough to see. I think the color on the bright green is great. Really doesn't get away from you too fast. Or you're not going to lose it, whether you're, have the green background like we do. It sticks out, and it obviously sticks out in a blue sky as well. But just all around, a super stable helicopter, which right now, this version and the white version are both $100 off, which is cool. And then there was a V2 version, which does all the same things. It just doesn't quite look as cool as the V3s came out. The V3s, the body, the shape, the design, they really dialed it in a little better. On the V2 version, you could actually see the GPS unit is attached to the boom, so it looks a little awkward, whereas this one, they fit it all inside really nicely. As far as spare parts, we've got spare body parts, spare skid plates, spare propellers, all that stuff available at motionrc.com. And all around, it's just a super beautiful heli. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send it out deep down the football field, and then we're gonna hit the return to home button, and we're gonna see how it does. So now I'm out. I'm gonna get low because I wanna see what it does as far as altitude wise. So there we go, I'm leaving it parked there, and now I'm gonna flip the home switch now, and it should raise up its altitude as it's doing. And then it's gonna turn and it's gonna come back to us. So again, I have my hands off the sticks. I'm fully hands off, but we took off from this little mound here, and we'll see if it lands right down basically where it took off. So now it's turning into the exact direction that it was when we plugged it in, if you remember. I was orientated like that. I just wanna make sure it doesn't hit my case. I'm gonna go move my case. And now it's slowly lowering its altitude and descending. And there it goes. So again, I'm not doing anything. It's going out near it. And then it'll automatically power itself down. I didn't touch a thing. It'll stop spooling. And it lands beautifully. I mean, it's just one of those things. The technology for these is awesome. Flywing makes, obviously, these two, which you get $100 off. They do have a couple scale helis available, which is great. I believe, you know, this whole technology, the GPS stabilized heli, works really awesome for a scale heli, guys who want to fly an Apache, want to fly a Huey, things like that. You know, this'll get you in there a lot easier than the old way of flying helis. I prefer it. I know a lot of heli guys will get mad at me for saying that. This makes me want to fly a heli. This sort of technology makes it, you know, a little easier. And then from here, again, you could fly this heli as a normal heli. So once you're feeling confident that way, you know, you could start experimenting. Obviously do it up high, but you have the ability to flip that GPS on and get yourself out of a sticky situation, and you could sort of help yourself learn how to fly the way a real heli would fly, a real RC heli would fly, if you would. So again, I'm gonna hit the stop on the motor, so now my motor won't be able to turn on at all. And that's pretty much it, guys. That is the Flywing 450L V3 in the bright green. We do have the white version available. Both links are down below. I'll even put the link to the V2 version down there as well if you want to check that out, because I believe that's $150 off at the moment. But either way, they are awesome. If you want to get something that's fun to fly in, and you can fly this in a pretty tight space for a large heli too, being that it is GPS stabilized. You don't have to go that fast, but having a nice open field, it's just something else fun to RC with on a beautiful day like we got today. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, check the links in the description down below. Hit the like button on your way out the door, and we'll see you next time at Motion RC. Bye guys.